Thanks for sticking around. In the previous segment, we talked about the talk and recent updates on the George Floyd case, as well as that son of a bitch, Drew Brees. But right now, what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to jump into this segment. We are joined by defense attorney, Mr. Michael Campbell. Brother Campbell, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us.
Not much, man. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No doubt. Now, I know that some people outside of the Memphis area may not be familiar with you, so please tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, your background, who you are, what you do, that sort of thing, okay?
All right. I'm a native Houstonian, born and raised in Houston, Texas. Went to a real good high school out there called Willow Ridge High School. Y'all might know about that if y'all in your 40s. Ended up going to the University of Oklahoma because of the reverse discrimination lawsuit, the Hopwood decision. What it did was it held up scholarships for all academics, including Black folks, in 1996. And University of Oklahoma came in and scooped up all the Texas graduates at the time coming out of high school. Was at Oklahoma for 4 years studying criminology, sociology, psychology, any ology you can think of. Transitioned into law school, left law school, came back to Houston, got a phone call from some of the judges in Memphis that remembered me because I interned in Memphis, ended up becoming a criminal defense lawyer out here in Memphis. We do federal defense, we do state defense, and you can catch us in Mississippi, you can catch us in Alabama, you can catch us in Arkansas, pretty much that tri-state area.
Okay.
Yep, and I come from a line of family members who are all down for the Divine Nine, which I'm a participant of, a 33rd degree Mason, as well as a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
You know what? This is the second show in a row that I've had a noob on the show, and I promised myself I wouldn't put noobs on my show, but somehow you guys keep finding a way to show up. So.
Well, we got a voice. Everybody got a voice. We got a voice. And let's see what has to be said, you know. You might want to judge me by it, you might not. We'll see.
No doubt, but we appreciate you taking the time out now. The reason why we wanted to bring, before we even jump into all of that, with everything that's been going on in the world, and you know what I'm talking about, How have you been handling it mentally, emotionally? I mean, are you holding it together? Because I know a lot of us, it's been an ordeal for everybody. So how are you dealing with it, man?
I don't mean to sound callous, but I have a dear cousin of mine who was my legal partner named Rod Wilson. Where he's upset, I've gotten callous. I've gotten callous. I kind of expect it now. I wrote a thesis back in school when I was getting my master's degree. I said, this is the expectation of what we've created. I expect it. When you give a cop who has a demographic of being a high school graduate, a year of college or so, and you give him a badge to hide his white privilege, what the hell you expect? And we shroud that up with what has been going on in, American politics, American society, American socialism. And this is a powder keg. I mean, come on. Every decade we have a riot for the same reason. I mean, from what happened with the hurricanes, Hurricane Rita, Hurricane Katrina. We go back farther to in LA, Compton. We go back to Rodney King. Come on. At some point, we have to start taking the intellectual portion of it and recognizing that we have more to offer than what we're going to receive in these interchanges, and appreciate it and handle it in that form. And once you handle it in that form, we will get a better response, but I can't say what's going to happen on the side.
Interesting question. My first question to you, man, because we wanted to have you on the show, given that a lot of the argument revolves around how we as Black men have these interactions with police. And it posed the question, what is the proper interaction, if there is one, for us to have with the police? Are there things that we should know going in, that as soon as you see those lights flashing behind you, get these things in order, whatever the case may be? What do you say about that?
All right. No pun intended. The first thing we have to do is learn how to breathe, okay? And we got to recognize that we are sacrificing the long game for the short game, okay? What's the short game? I get stopped by a cop and I have an argument, okay? 9 times out of 10, when that cop stops you, he already knows what he's going to do. And what you are doing is reinforcing whatever predisposed idea he has, whatever perverted mindset he has, whatever thought that he has. And I tell all of my clients this: you can't win on the street, okay? You can't win. You can't outgun him. 9 times out of 10, you cannot outrun him. And if you allow him to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner, he's going to do it right there, because everything about what he's been raised is going to offer just that, okay? So what's your response? We have made compliance a dirty word, okay? Because we have taken the idea of be compliant as a socialistic shot to our pride, you know? Like, because I'm African American, the last thing I want to do is be compliant. But what I'm telling the brothers to do is we have to realize our value and begin to play the long game instead of playing the short game. Because these men are losing in court, all right? When 99% of my clients who come in on a disorderly conduct, a traffic stop, any of that, they're getting dismissed. They're getting dismissed. But within that dismissal, I have to get you to the courtroom. If I can't get you into the courtroom because you're dead, the only thing I can do is get your family a check that you'll never appreciate or be able to have for your own possession. Now, if that's what you want, that can be achieved. But we first have to understand what our value is in the stop, okay? That's number one. Number two, when he comes, not necessarily be compliant, but find out what it is. How can I help you? Okay, now this is gonna sound real washed, okay? How can I help you? What is it that you need? Okay. Here's my license, here's my ID. If he asks you to step out the car, get out the car. If he says, well, I think I'm gonna arrest, hey, can I have my family member or somebody come and get my vehicle? Okay, and you get it out of here, and then stop talking. Stop talking, okay? Because 9 times out of 10, that body camera is not gonna be on, y'all. It's not. The body camera is not going to be on. He's going to give some lame excuse, and he's going to play like he's scared. That's the truth of the reality of what we're seeing, okay? So the question is, if I'm dealing with a pit bull in the middle of the street and I have no weapons, I can't run away, what do I do to get out of the situation, to get into the courtroom? Think about the long game. Because if I make it to the courtroom, I win, okay? I can't tell you how many officers I've smoked in the courtroom. I can't tell you how many cases I've won. I had a case just last week where I got the officer to admit that he screwed up a lineup because he showed Facebook pictures of who he thought was the person who did it. Who he thought. So that case got thrown out. But if I allow you or any of my brothers and sisters to have a fight right there, that fight is not one we're gonna win. That's street justice. Okay? Now, if it's a crowd of people, that's a different story. It's a different story. If it's a crowd. Because in the crowd, that's when the camera comes into play. That's when I can document what happened. But then you say, well, what about George Floyd? The girl was taping and this still took place. What about George Floyd? She was taping and that Mr. Campbell, that still didn't win. Okay? But in those scenarios, she has a responsibility to make a scene herself. Okay? Help!
Y'all
killing him. Somebody come to make such a scene, and to afford being arrested themselves so the one brother's not sacrificed. But we don't see that type of altruism exist anymore.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't exist. It used to exist when our brothers from the nation would get on the street in their black and white suits and they would surround you during the arrest. They existed when the Black Panther Party had Huey P. Newton and Eldridge Cleaver sitting out there watching you as you did it. But now we have sacrificed that for a digitized United States. And me holding that camera, taping you, is not going to change his reaction because now they're ready for lights, camera, action. So you need to make a scene while you're doing it far enough away that you are not a threat to get arrested. And if you know that you're going to get arrested, be direct in which the interruption is going to be. And that's when you have a crowd. Be direct. You're killing them.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, once a person is putting you on notice that you're doing something, and it's not a question like, "Ooh, look at this," but you're killing him. There's something of, is this officer going beyond his duty? Because right now you got entitlement that's encloaked with a badge, brothers. Okay, and that's poison. If I tell you all your life you were better than somebody else, all your life, because of your DNA, all this happened, and that you are inherently a better person, and we don't want these other people because you are better. And then you get to pull over that attorney. You get to pull over that black engineer. You pull over that black educator.
Shit.
You recognize that this person is in a better position you are in the country that your granddaddy supposedly made. You don't think that's not going to play out subconsciously in their mind in the middle of the arrest? So we have to then treat ourselves as though we are just that. See, if I get in an argument and I'm worth $1 million and you're only worth 10, the argument's not going to last very long. Okay? Because I'm not going to sacrifice my million for your 10.
Right.
Shit.
So in exchange of that, I'm going to give you the short game because I'm going to get the long.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by that.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Now, we're talking about playing the short game. What happens after, or what should we keep in mind if you do get hemmed up? You sitting in the back of that paddy wagon, you know that you headed to the station. What should you keep in mind? What are the things you should do?
First thing you should do is you're going to exercise your right to counsel. Keep your mouth shut. Because when these guys are in anger, they put anything on that pad. Whatever they write on that affidavit, and is what they write, and it can't be erased. Okay? Sure. As a criminal defense lawyer, I want that memorialized. I want your stupidity memorialized. I want your skipping the Miranda. I want you not vocalizing certain rights to me and giving me proof. I want you to write that down, okay? Yeah. Or be absent writing it. That's the first thing. When they ask to have a conversation with you, don't think you can talk your way out of it, okay? Those are what we call, in my world, admissions, okay? And when you start making admissions, the crime starts being curtailed to what you have stated that you thought you were in the right, or you thought this benevolent person was going to help you with. I can't tell you how many times a person has thought that a cop was going to be benevolent and let them out of a situation, and they use their own statement to create a different crime than what they were stopped for.